So it's something I've been kind of procrastinating on for a little bit, but there's something I've been kind of wanting to do for a minute, which is just like make some videos online talking about life experience and just different shit that goes on. Kind of, if anything, maybe making like a community online for like different people where we can all like get together and talk together and like maybe down the road have some type of like communion and like where people are getting together and talking together and like actually getting outside of their little bubbles or little echo chambers or little spaces and like talking and like real life and shit. Because I noticed that there's just not a whole lot of that. There's like a lot of this, a lot of like the fucking the digital, but like there's not a lot of the fourth wall break. But like there's not a lot of the getting out and shit. I remember being a kid thinking like, man, like I can't wait till I'm older, like my voice is all deep and shit, like I could make YouTube videos and not cringe about it. But I mean, who knows if that day will ever come where I don't like play that shit back and hear my own voice. I'm just like, man, that's really what I sound like. But anyways, I mean, there's no telling. This video may get 5 views. This video may get 13,000 views. It may get a million. I'm maybe doubtful of that, but I'm just shooting my shot. I don't really know where to start specifically, so that's why I'm just throwing it out there. Hopefully it'll come together at some point. Right now it's kind of just like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but I think the direction or the trajectory I'm trying to take this is where it's kind of like oriented on life and like feelings and experiences and expressions and like connection and like being in like one of those spaces where you can actually feel happy and you can feel safe enough to express yourself. And like I don't want anybody to feel like they have to follow anything. Like if someone, let's say someone starts commenting or expressing like their life experiences, I don't want someone to feel the need to help them, and I don't want someone to feel the need to take that advice. I just want it to be supplemental, something extra, something that can be like, okay, let me like think about this and see if implementing this might help me, and hopefully it'll be one of those things where you actually think about it, because that's kind of like the whole point of this, is to get people to think and like hopefully help people in a lot of ways I wish I would have been helped, give people advice that I wish I would have been given. And like just the first thing that was fresh on my mind, the thing that was like pumping in this morning was just, and I think it's kind of funny, but like just because it walks like a duck, just because it talks like a duck, just because it sounds like a duck does not mean it's a duck. And that's kind of like, that might be like controversial, because a lot of people will say like, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, looks like a duck, it's probably a duck. But that don't mean that it is a duck. And it may be a little bit off topic, may not have anything to do with the price of tea in China, but sometimes it feels like you're walking like the tightrope in life, and you may not realize, like, and I've been in this position where people have told me, be like, be more grateful, you have this, you have this, you have this, and it's like, motherfucker, I'm still struggling, I got depression, I got this, I'm in my head all day, or I'm like struggling to like find a reason to live, or this or that. I'm not saying that's me right now, but like those are just like thoughts that like could be running through your head, my head, whoever's head, and eventually I plan on like flipping it around so you can actually like see my face and shit, maybe be a little bit more personal. But before I get lost in thought, just a lot of times like someone might tell you to do something and it may like hurt, and it may feel wrong, and that's when you really got to think about it and like think like long term, like long term, and that's like that short-term gratification versus long-term gratification. I'll tell you, like, short-term gratification, I want to roll up a fucking blunt and smoke a blunt and watch TV, but especially with how strong weed is, I'm not gonna get down that rabbit hole, but like, motherfucker, like, it probably ain't gonna get shit done. You know, like, I got shit I'm trying to do today, even if it's not a lot. And if I smoke that blunt, I probably ain't gonna get shit done. So, you know, okay, let's get into it. Let's say your parents tell you to go to college, and you're like, oh, I don't want to go into debt, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Well, who else is going to help you? You know, you're over here, you know, and again, I don't want to get too in depth into like a lot of these like heavy topics, because I want it to be kind of light. You know, I want it to be a space where people can just feel like open. And you know, if you want to share those things in the comments, go for it. Just watch the language, try not to be too vulgar. I mean, everybody likes to cuss every once in a while, but you know, also you got to think, like, if you like content like this, you know, the way you comment online, the way you comment in the comment section is going to affect the algorithm. It's going to affect who it's like comes back to. You know, just short term versus long term thinking type of shit. See, I mean, I cuss. I try not to, but it's more like the vibe than anything. It's like there's like, you know, when someone's like, hey, yo, what's up, homie? What's up, my effer? And then there's like, you know, like real like heavy cussing, or someone's like pissed off, you know. Anyways, before I ramble on about shit too much, you know, walk in the same circle too long. Who else is gonna help you? You know what I mean? Like, if you got a girlfriend and she's got a spot, or you got a spot, like, who else is gonna love you? You got a dog, like, and you're not paying attention to your dog. Your dog gets loose. You may not be able to get another dog, you know. So sometimes it's like you might be a little bit depressed. You might be in your thoughts. You might be in your feelings. You might be worried about what other people are thinking. But like, you know, like right here, like, I may not get a chance to make this video, this exact same video. It's like that saying, like, the same man may never step in the same river, you know? And it's just, so sometimes you just gotta go with that shit. Because, like, looking back, you know, a lot of times it's often like, well, shit, I mean, if I had a time machine, I might hop in that bitch and go back. But then I might make a time paradox or some shit. I don't know how that shit works, but, like, you know, just being goofy. But like, if you got parents and they're supporting you and they're saying, hey, do this and this, that's when you really gotta sit down and think about it and try to be positive. Don't try to be negative. Try to be realistic and positive, but don't try not to be negative, because if you try to be negative, I'm telling you, you might end up thinking like, oh, let me go fucking start selling shit on eBay and start doing this and this, and let me go start this and this, and you start getting wrapped up in this, you know, negative shit, because you're thinking negative. When if you start thinking positive and like realistic too, then it's like, okay, they're supporting me, they're helping me get on this roadmap. You know, if I stick to it, even if I'm in debt, if I stick to it, and I stick on the right path, you know, even if I'm go into debt, even if I'm not smart enough to keep up, or even if I don't have like the tenacity or whatever it is that you don't think you have, as long as you just stick to it and keep going, you know, positive but realistic at the same time. It's like, positively, maybe you won't go into debt at all. Maybe you will get that degree. Maybe everything will be sunshine and rainbows. But then thinking realistically, even if that don't work out, but still trying to be positive at the same time, it's like, okay, I got me a degree. Now I can go get me a job. My parents are still supporting me. I still got a place to live. And yeah, there might be like, you know, in the back of the head where it's like you still got those negative thoughts and shit, but like you're focusing on the positive shit. And that's what's going to help push you forward and not like push you back. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I swear, it's like, there's like trying to stay static, which that shit never seems like it works. Because when you're static, that's when you feel like, that's when that negative, like, that's, for me at least, that's when it really feels like it starts to pull you back. And then when you're pushing forward, that's like the pull, you know, it's like the push and the pull, you know. And I feel like good people are gonna want to pull you up. They're not gonna want to push you forward. They're gonna want to pull you up. But, you know, maybe they'll push you forward too if you really need it. But I feel like it's the you know, I don't want to say bad people, because people are weird. You know, it's hard to like put a number on life. It's hard to quantify something that's like not digital. It's not like ones and zeros. Hey, Louis. So it's just paying attention, paying attention, all that type of shit, because, like, I could be sitting here in my head right now being depressed, like, oh, man, like, I ain't got shit going for me, I got a phone, I got internet, I got a backyard, I got 2 legs, I got arms, I'm here, I'm still kicking it, so, let's say you got a girlfriend, and you over here, you all day. Fuck, dude, I know, like sometimes it's like you wake up, it's like with me wanting to smoke a blunt. Like, you wake up and it's just like, it's just fresh. Like, that's just like, you just want, like, man, like, I don't know what it is, but I think a blunt would just, like, it would make sunshine and rainbows, baby, sunshine and rainbows. But then you get to it, and then, like, later down the line, you're like, fuck. It may not even be that later down the line. It might be 2 hours later. If it's that, it might be 30 minutes later. Hopefully it's 30 minutes later, please, for the love of just being happy and goodness and graciousness and, just good stuff, good shit, good stuff, man. That's some good stuff, man. For all of that, and don't worry, guys, just don't read into this stuff too much. Basically what I'm saying is you gotta, like, hold yourself back sometimes so that you can pull yourself up, so you can push yourself forward, so you can be positive, so that you can think realistically, because I'm telling you, like, even right now, like, there's that negativity, like, it's like, oh, this video isn't coherent, it isn't put together, it may not make any sense, people may not understand what I'm talking about, but, like, it's just about shooting that shot, man. It's about getting it out there, about doing something, because if you don't do shit, then it's like, what is there to do, So, back on topic. If you got a girlfriend, just for the love of her, for yourself, because there's, like, this, like, debate of, like, selfish and selflessness, and, like, man, that whole terrain can get tricky, because, I've had people talk to me about, like, at the end of the day, if you're truly selfish, then you'll do good things for other people because it'll come back to you. And I'm like, man, if you're truly selfless, you'll do good things for other people because it'll come back to you, because you'll do good things for other people because you like other people and that makes you feel good. And I'll be like, well, if you're selfish, you'll do good things for other people because that'll make them feel good and that'll make you feel good. I'm just like, man, getting lost in the sauce, So, for your own sake, for their sake, just try to be positive, try to be optimistic, try to be realistic, try your best not to let that negativity pull you in. Try to make the most out of what you have. As corny as that shit sounds, I remember being a kid being like, oh, take 100 of the shots. 100 of the shots you don't make. You miss 100% of the shots you don't make. And again, I'm just rambling on at this point. I think I'm just going to post it and not, like, think about it too much. But simply put, try to work with what you got. Try to be positive. Try to make things work. Because I'm telling you, when she goes on your phone, she goes on your history, she walks in on you, or you drop out, hopefully you can feel that. Like, hopefully I don't even have to explain it. You can just feel that, like, that, that vibe of, like, just a thought of that, like, and it's like, what sounds better, like, having a support system where you might be a little bit in debt, like, if they look at you and they're like, hey, I don't care if you go into debt, I'm still gonna, like, be there for you because this is what I think is best, versus let me just drop out and do it on my own, If to do it on your own really sounds better to you, I can't stop you, but I'm telling you, I mean, heck, if you've watched like almost any half-baked, half-decent TV show, I mean, it's like, what's the main premise, It's like together, together, friends, family, relationships, and that leads into like the whole the other thing that I don't even want to think about. I don't want to talk about it, but like I feel a necessity to talk about it because you may not find another girl. You know, you're probably never gonna find the same girl. But if you really love that girl, if she really means the world to you, like you tell her, then dude, fuck it, break your fucking phone. Like, what means more to you, your phone or her? I'm not fucking joking. Like, grab a fucking hammer and smash your fucking phone. You know, like genuinely, what means more to her? Like, what means more to you? What means more to her? Like, does fucking, you know, I'm not saying you actually got to do that. You know, I know you probably need your phone to go to work, to do this, to do that. You got people you got to text, blah, 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 blah. But like really, like, so does your phone mean more than her? Or are you willing to, like, look that shit in the eye and fucking smash that shit and be like, fuck you, no. You know? I'm just saying, because you might be in a good situation and you don't even realize it, you know, compared to a lot of other people, or compared to a lot of other things in life, you know. And again, it's like, that may seem like it's something negative, but that's me trying to make, like, a positive out of something, because it's like, especially if you're young, you know, especially if you're, like, still a teenager or whatever, like, dude, you got a roof over your head, you got a mom, you got a dad, you got some type of family, you know. I'm not telling you that's the end all be all. I'm just telling you to think. Because I'm just saying, like, you might have to walk that tightrope for a little bit, you know. And that shit ain't always fun, but like, dude, you go back to sleep. You go back to, you know, playing with the turkey. You go back to thinking about fucking, you know, starting the eBay online, whatever, you know, get rich quick, screen. Before you know it, you're gonna be looking back like, man, and it may not be anytime soon either. It may be years down the line too, and that's what you really gotta think about. Like, you might be fine for a little bit. You might be like, oh, I'm gonna just do this, and that, and then bam, shit hits the fan, you know. And so you think, if you got your own plan, then you gotta stick to that plan too, you know, because. And I just had another segue. You alright? You okay? Sorry, my dog getting into something, but you just gotta think, man. Like, what's easier, to stick to your plan or to stick to somebody else's plan? You know, because if you got a plan, then you gotta stick to it. It might take one little thing to throw you off. You know, if you got a job, like, okay, I'm gonna work here, I'm gonna move out with this person, I'm gonna do this, then you gotta stick to it. You gotta keep doing that. If you quit, you go start smoking blunts with your friends, and you go try to get another job, you go try to do this and that, like, you don't know. And I feel like you're a lot better if you're in a position where you do. You're like, okay, I know if I stick to this job, you know, I'm gonna have some money. I'm gonna have a paycheck. Maybe my manager is an asshole. Maybe my manager throws me under the bus. Maybe this, maybe that. But, like, you're getting into that negative. You gotta get into that positive. Like, all right, let me just live with it. Let me just move forward. Let me be like, all right, let me, like, be a man or be a strong woman, like, whatever, you know, and, like, just keep pushing through. Like, if that's your plan, that's your plan. Don't just give up on your plan. You know, you might have those days where you go into the walk-in and you start crying, but, like, you gotta think about the ones you love. Like, you know, who's gonna buy cat food? Who's gonna buy dog food? Who's gonna support you? You know? And that gets back into, like, other people's plan. If you genuinely don't think you can stick to your plan, I mean, I'm saying, like, imagine, like, you have the worst day possible. Like, I'm saying, like, your boss comes into work and they cuss you the fuck out. I mean, they actually cuss you out. They don't lecture you. They don't talk to you. They don't get on to you. But they, like, straight up cuss you the fuck out. What are you gonna do then? Are you gonna quit? Or are you gonna go cry, go walk it off, do what you gotta do, and get over it and stick to the plan? Because if you're not gonna do that, if you like, you gotta. And this is a moment where you gotta be honest with yourself. If you really think that's a time where you would just let go and like fall off, then maybe it's better if you stick to somebody else's plan where you have support. You have somebody there for you that's like, hey, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to keep you going. I'm going to keep pulling you up. I'm going to keep pushing you, even if there is some toxicity there. Because it's like, who else you going to have? You gonna go to the mom and the dad store? You going to get you a new mom and dad? You going to go to the girlfriend store, get you a new girlfriend? Like, you know? I mean, I'm just saying, like, so, and I mean that in, like, a good way, too, because, like, that means if someone is planning for you, you got somebody planning for you. I know they might not be right in the head, but, like, let's be honest. Are you right in the head? Like, look, let's be real. Are you right in the head? And what you gonna say about them not being right in the head, you know? So you got somebody planning for you, don't just go fucking jumping ships and shit, you know? Like, stick to it. Stick to it. Come here, baby. Jabber. See? I already regret. I already got regret. I wish I would have petted my cat a second ago. My baby. Come on. I raised this baby too. She's just so sweet. She gets a little sassy sometimes though. It's like, what you doing? Like a little sassy diva or something. I remember I called Alexa a sassy diva. And like, Alexa went on this large rant about like being sassy and being a diva and shit. She'll be back. I ain't too worried about it. Got me like a little compost going on right here. Just a whole bunch of shit. I don't think this is supposed to be in here. Here we go. Yeah, that looks a lot better. But, you know, it's just thinking ahead of time and not like, you know, that's why I'm making this video, to kind of like help you think. You know, maybe not necessarily think for you, but like help you think. Cause like you know, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know when you are. Blah, 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 blah. You know, white, black, Asian, purple, Mexican, green, yellow, blue, Italian, Hispanic, whatever. Maybe I left something out, something wacky, but you know, I've been there where I've been like, fuck, like this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound good. This is this and this and this. But then meanwhile, like I wake up and smoke a blunt, you know. So it's like, shit. Like I get it. You know, there's all kinds of elements and all kinds of shit that can be holding you back. And like I know how hard it can be, or how hard it can feel to pull yourself out of that shit. Like, where it's like, man, you know, I feel like touching the turkey would just make it all A-okay, or like, it's almost like, it's like sucking you in. That's that moment where you gotta take action, dude. You gotta take action. Like I know, trust me, I know, there's that part of you that you worry that's gonna suck you back in. That's that moment where it's like, if it comes down to, do I need to break my phone? Do I need to smash the bong? Do I need to throw all this shit away? Or can I have a phone and not worry about this shit? Or do you just need to come clean? Maybe you need to come clean to her and be like, hey, yo, I got a problem. You know? And like, maybe you gotta think about it a little bit. Maybe you just gotta be like, hey, yo, you know, can you hold on to this for me? Like, can you call me while you're at work? Can we talk more often? You know, maybe you need more connection. Maybe that's what's lacking. Maybe there's something lacking. Maybe there's not something lacking. But like, you really gotta think long term when it comes to that shit. Cause, dude, it's so easy to fall, dude. It's so easy to fall, man. It ain't always easy to get back to where you used to be. Like, I'll share you a little anecdote. But like, a couple months ago, I had like 3K saved up. I was chilling. And then I left my job. right? Looking for another job. Shit hits the fan. Economy's not that great. It's hard to get work right now. And now I ain't got that 3K. You know what I mean? So it's like if I would have just stuck to it, if I would have kept working there, I'd probably be alright. It may not be good, but I'd probably be alright. But that might mean I might have gone through a lot of shit. It might have sucked there for a minute. But like, you know, would you rather like endure that right now or later? Because a lot of times if you endure that now, it's going to be a lot better later. Because if you wait toward later, because that's what, you know, there's like, I've heard like this philosophy where it's like, sometimes it's better to suffer now than later because you're going to have to do it at some point. But what I haven't heard people say is that suffering might be a whole heck of a lot more later. Like it might, like right now it might be like, oh man, I'm fiending. But then later on down the line, it might not just be I'm fiending. It might be like, man, like I feel like I got something, like I got a monster to feed, you know? So just frequency, resonation, lifting up the vibe, like trying to, you know, breathe through it, like, you know, reaching out, talking to people, you know, and that's like the whole point of this, is just reaching out, talking to people, asking for help. Maybe they can help, maybe they can't help, but sometimes that's just, you gotta keep it simple, you know, right? That's what you gotta do sometimes. Go outside, go on a walk, make a video. You alright? Girl. Hey, come on. Get off the screen, you know? Go to some community event, you know? I'm not telling you to go to fucking some back alley in the middle of nowhere. I'm not telling you to go get wasted. I'm not telling you to get drunk. I'm not telling you to get high as shit as some random person, but like, you know, go somewhere that feels welcoming. Maybe try to find some type of community or some type of event, you know, like, say it must be positive. We have social media, so use it, you know? And that's, heck, I may be talking to myself when it comes to that, but like, there's all kinds of communities and events and stuff, and like, okay, let me go on social media, let me look for that stuff, let me find that stuff. That way, I can, or you can, get out there and connect to people, because maybe you're just sitting at home too much. Maybe that's why. It ain't always easy to say, but I don't know. Feel free to post, feel free to comment, feel free to like if you like the video. But yeah, that's just pretty much what it's all about, you know? Much love, y'all. Sit out here for a little bit, probably go on a walk here in a minute. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of topics on my head, you know. That was just what I was thinking about this morning, like the big thing, you know. But yeah.